In one of the previous lectures of this course, we learned about collection and how to create them. We have also learned that a collection is like a table in relational database which can store related data like users, products, etc. A data in a collection is stored using something called as documents. Each document in a collection represent an entity. For example, in a user's collection, each document will represent a user. In the same way, in a products collection, each document will represent a product. A document is like a JSON data with a key value pair. Each key represents a property of that entity and value is the value assigned to that property. For example, this object here, it represents a user entity where a user has a name as John Doe, the age of the user is 30, and the user is from New York City. So this is one document which represents one user. And for each document, MongoDB also creates this underscore ID property, which it assigns with a unique object ID. So this is how a document looks like. Okay, so in MongoDB collection, when we store some data, we store it as a document. So in this lecture, we are going to learn about some methods which we will call from MongoDB shell to insert documents in a collection of MongoDB database. Let's go to Mongo shell. And here you will notice that in the left hand side, I have opened Mongo shell, and in the right hand side, I have opened VS Code. And in there, I have this file mongo.js. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the Mongo shell commands in this mongo.js file. We will copy it from here and then we will paste it in Mongo shell and then we will execute it. Why I'm doing this is because writing the Mongo shell commands in this JS file, it will be easier and we can also format it for better readability. And then we will simply copy that command, that method, and we will run it here. All right, so here you will notice that the currently selected database is e-shopping database. Now, if I run show collections command here, you will see that in this e-shopping database, currently we have two collections, products collection and users collection. Now, let's say in this users collection, we want to add a new document. And there are several ways to insert a document in a collection in MongoDB. We have already seen one such method, which is called as insert one method. So here, if I say db.users, this db object is currently pointing to this e-shopping database. In that we have this users collection, and in that collection, I want to insert one single document. So when we want to insert a single document, we can use insert one method. And to this insert one method, we need to pass a JavaScript object. This JavaScript object will be created as a document in the MongoDB collection. And in this object, we can specify the fields which we want to have for that document. For example, I want to have a name field. Here, let's say name is Steve. I want to have an age field. Let's say age is 34. And I want to have a gender field. And let's say gender is unknown. Okay. So we are using this insert one method to insert a single document in this users collection. And to this insert one method, what we are passing? We are passing a JavaScript object. And this object will be inserted as a document in this users collection. So if you want to insert only one document, then you can use insert one method. So if I press enter, here we have received this message from MongoDB server. This message simply tells that the JavaScript object which we passed to this insert one method, that has been accepted and it has been inserted as a document in this users collection. So that's why this acknowledged is true. And then we have this inserted ID. Basically, as we have learned earlier, whenever we insert a new document in a MongoDB collection, there, if we don't specify the underscore ID field, MongoDB server will automatically create an underscore ID field for that document and it will assign it with a unique object ID. So this is that unique object ID which has been assigned for this document when it was inserted in the users collection. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's query the users collection by calling the find method on that collection. And if I press enter, you will see this find method has returned us an array, and in that array we have all the documents which we have created inside this users collection. And the last document which we created, there the name was Steve, age was 34, and gender was unknown. So you can see the last document here, there the name is Steve, age is 34, and gender is unknown. So that document has been inserted here. Let's go ahead and let's clear the Mongo shell. Now remember that using insert one method, we can only insert one document at a time to a collection. But what if we want to insert multiple documents at once to a collection? For that, we have another method called insert many. So just like how we use insert one method, in the same way, we can also use insert many method. So again, we can say db.users, which is the collection name in which we want to insert documents, dot insert many. And to this insert many method, we need to pass an array, and inside that array, we can specify multiple documents which we want to insert. So let me write this command here in this JavaScript file. So here we can say db.users.insert many. Okay, and to this insert many method, we need to pass an array, because using this insert many method, we want to insert multiple documents. And in that array, we can specify multiple documents separated by comma, something like this. Okay, so let's say we want to insert 3 documents at a time using this insert many method. So here inside this object, let's specify a name property. Let's say name is Sarah, and there let's specify the gender property, and let's say gender is female. Then for another user object also, let's specify the name. Let's say name is Steve. Let's specify age. Let's say age is 30. Okay, here I have missed the colon. And for the third document, let's say name is John. Age is 54. And gender, let's say unknown. Okay, so these are the 3 documents which we want to insert at once using this insert many method. And if you notice here, all the documents which we are trying to insert here, they do not have the same structure. So for example, in the first document, we have only name and gender property. In the second document, we have only name and age property. And in the third document, we have name, age, and gender property. So the structure of all these 3 documents are completely different. Still, MongoDB will allow us to insert these documents even though they have different structure. That is, they have different fields. And this is possible because, as we have learned in the introduction lecture, MongoDB is schemaless. That means we can have documents with different structures in the same collection. And that's what we are doing here. We are trying to insert 3 documents with completely different structure. And by different structure, I mean different fields. So let me go ahead and let me copy this command from here. And I'll paste it here. And to paste it, you can simply right click on your mouse and you will see this message. So here I'll paste it. Okay, and if I go ahead and if I press enter, again you see we have got this acknowledgement and it is true. That means the 3 documents which we passed to this insert many method, they have been accepted and they have been inserted in this users collection. And for each of these documents, we did not specify the underscore ID field explicitly. So MongoDB server is going to assign an underscore ID field for each of these documents, and that underscore ID field will be assigned with some unique object ID. And you can see those object IDs here. So here, these are the object IDs for each of these documents which have been inserted in the users collection. So let's again go ahead and let's query the users collection, and now in this users collection we should have 3 more documents. If I press enter, you see these many documents now we have. So these are the last 3 documents which we inserted. We inserted a document for this Steve, we inserted a document for Sarah, and we inserted a document for John. So these are the 3 users which we have created newly using this insert many method. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's clear the shell here. All right. So remember that when we want to insert a single document in a collection, we can use insert one method. And we have to use this insert one method on the collection name. Okay. And if you want to insert multiple documents at a time, instead of using insert one, we can use insert many method. Using insert many method, we can insert multiple documents at a time. This is all from this lecture. If you have any questions from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.